WeCreate Vision laser right over here off to my left. We're going to make something on it here today. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use this. One of the questions I get a lot when we're doing our weekly live stream, which is every Wednesday night at 6:30 Central Time, by the way, is how easy is this laser to use? Is it something for a beginner? Can a beginner pick this up quick? Well, I'm going to do a simple project on here, and we're going to make this sign right here. Up right side up, and there we go. We're going to make this sign out of 3mm plywood, and of course I'm going to get a couple questions about where did you get the saw blade pattern. Well, from a saw blade. What I did was took saw blade, laid it down on a piece of paper flat, traced around it with a Sharpie, scanned it as a JPEG, and then I converted it to an SVG and Inkscape, and then added my lettering and everything in here. This is a stencil graphic. This is actually in 2 layers, and the one we're going to make is a little bit smaller than this one here, although you could make one this size. So let me grab the small one here. There, small version, 8-inch version. This is actually 2 layers. The back layer is basically just a saw blade, although I wouldn't try to cut anything with it. And this here is the front. So as on my previous one, I stained the front a walnut color, and I painted this white so that when they go together, like so, you'll have contrast like that. And you can do any colors or combination or stains or anything you want. This is a simple project. I'll take you on the computer here. I'll show you how we're going to get this set up. And I'm using just 1/8-inch plywood. You get, actually I get mine in 4x8 sheets at Home Depot because that's pretty much the only place I can get it without it being very expensive. If you go to a craft store, you're going to get a little square for a lot of money, whereas you can go to your local Home Depot and pick up a whole sheet of it for, I don't know, it's around 15 bucks, I believe. So let me take you on the computer here and I'll show you how we get this set up. So here we are in the WeCreate Vision software. This is version 2. So you want to start with a new project, of course. We'll file create. I have one on here I just finished doing, so we'll get that off of there. So you have a blank screen, and we are doing 3mm wood. I'm just using 3mm wood, basswood. It cuts just fine with these settings. So what I need to do next is upload a file here, and I need to get up to where that is. Oh, the saw blade sign here. We're going to do the front first. 8-inch front, that brings us in. So I need to know where to place that on my work. So the next thing I need to do, I have my plywood in there already. We'll hit on autofocus here. Of course, I'm selecting cut. That's what we're going to be doing. Speed is 7mm per second, one pass, 100% power. Let that do its focus thing here. That looks better. As you can see, the cut on that piece of wood isn't exactly straight. I'm going to take this up and get it just at the very edge there. Make the best use of my material. And from there, all I need to do, like I said, the power here is 100% power, 7mm per second, one pass. Just click on, of course we want cut. Just click start. This will come up and give you a little bit of a preview. We'll click on send. And then you'll have to push the button on the front of the laser. This is what I do with my 1/8-inch plywood. I cut it into 16-inch squares out of that full sheet, and you'll see one side has kind of a design to it, and the other side is just birch, like so. There, get a little bit. It's hard to shoot video in here because this room is so small. I'm in the laser room in the loft above the shop. So does a 16-inch square fit inside the WeCreate laser? Barely. It does fit. You can't use the whole area at once, but this does fit in there. You just have to put it in an angle and then lay it down. If you're cutting this just for this project, you can make 10-inch squares or 12-inch squares, depending on which how big you want to make your sign. But we're doing the 8-inch version here, which is right here. Another question I get is, while this is cutting itself out, how do I vent this? I don't just let the smoke blow in the room up here. There is a duct behind me. You can kind of see the silver duct running around, and it runs over to a blower that's mounted in the window above my CO2 laser. A little tip here is something to remember when you're cutting things out with not just this laser, but any laser. And let's say you have a honeycomb board underneath, or one of the atom stack groovy boards, whatever they call that. You get them little pieces that drop down. When you're done with your project, clean that out. Don't just leave it there and set another project on top and start cutting, because those pieces that fall down in there can catch fire if that laser beam goes down and catches it just right. And then it'll, of course, I don't think you're going to have a great big flame up unless you got a whole bunch of scraps underneath there, but it'll scorch the back of your project. So from a safety standpoint, just clean it out. The WeCreate here has a little tray you just slide out and you can dump everything out. I have an X2S1 behind me here. I wish it had the same feature, but on any of my other lasers, even with honeycomb boards, you get them little pieces that drop down into the honeycomb. Clean them out. Don't just let them accumulate under there. You could have a little bit of a surprise flame up. Incidentally, some little pieces are cut out. You know, if you have another project going on, or maybe you know somebody does little craft things, like here, you got a little tiny hammer that's cut out of this with a little tiny wrench too. The cutouts of the letters won't do you any good, but these little things are kind of handy to use if you're for some kind of project later on. So you kind of want to hang on to those little parts. Okay, our first piece is all cut out. Take that out of there. I'll give this just a second for the rest of the smoke to clear out of the inside, because I don't want it in here. There is a smoke detector in here, and I have opened this too soon, and I've set my smoke detector off. But when it sets this one off, it sets everyone else off up here, because they're all wired together. So don't want that. Oh, here's our first cutout, and here's my little hammer I'll hang on to. So now I need to get set up for the second layer of this, which is basically this same thing, but with no cutouts in it. That gives you your back layer. And what I'm going to do with the back layer is, instead of using the birch side, I'm going to use that kind of whatever design it is on the back side of the plywood. It'll add a little bit different contrast to it when I go to put a finish on it, or stain it, or color it, or do whatever I want to do. So I have to remember to close my lid, because if you don't have the lid closed, your camera doesn't work correctly. Now back on the computer, show you how to load the other file. Very, very simple process. Okay, once you are complete, and we are complete, so what I can do now is we're going to go File and New, or Create rather. I could use the same thing here, but we won't. I'm not saving this. So I need to upload my other file, which is the 8-inch back. This is making the 8-inch sign. You can make this bigger. Just remember that if you make this one bigger, make the other one bigger as well, and make them the same size. So here again, we're going to be doing cut, and it's on the basswood. Everything will be the same. Need to hit autofocus up here. So here's our work surface again, and I am going to move this down over here. And this one, because this piece of plywood had a little bit of funny stuff going on one part of it. So there, I'm all within my range, and that's where I want it to be. Let's hit start. And now I will send it, and I have to push the button on the front of the laser. Just like so. And away we go. And give it a couple seconds for the smoke to clear out of there. Here's the other half. So these things just stack like so. and you can color it or finish it according to your desire, whatever you like. So maybe you want to make one of these yourself. I'll put a link in the description. I'll put the files on our website, and you can download the files for this free of charge. There's no copyright here unless DeWalt's going to come after me for tracing around one of their saw blades, but probably not. These are just stencil letters. It's a stencil font. You probably already have it on your computer. It's called stencil. The little hammer and the little wrench, I actually drew the wrench. The hammer, I think that was part of some clip art from something somewhere. But very simple project to make. And again, you can resize it and make it bigger if you like. That's just how easy it is to use this WeCreate laser. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. There'll be a link in the description as well if you'd like to get one of these, because I'm sure they would like to send you one. But again, one of the questions we get, is this a good laser for a beginner? Is it easy to use? Well, it's just that easy. Not much of a learning curve to this one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.